Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your source for Second Amendment news. July 4th is tomorrow. Happy Independence Day, just in case I don't get to say it tomorrow for whatever reason. But I thought I'd come on here today to tell you about the newest gun control that they're trying to ram down the nation's throat on Independence Day. Well, not necessarily on Independence Day, but it was submitted yesterday. And it was the conglomerate here from Massachusetts, a bunch of socialist bobos who want to force the rest of the country to change their gun control laws to the way that Massachusetts has it. As somebody who lived here all but 3 years of my life, I'm going to tell you that the laws here suck. But I'll tell you a little bit more about the bill and about a little bit of a wrinkle that's in there that they hope nobody will notice. Well, actually, there's two of them, but you're going to want to stick by and watch this. All right, so this legislation was submitted by Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. She looks happy, doesn't she? Senator Markey, he doesn't even live in the state, and Congressman Kennedy. You can see that these guys are out of, and gal are out of their tree. But the title of this bill is called the Making America Safe and Secure Act, or the MASS Act for short. Get it? Massachusetts. So I'll give you a rundown of what's in the bill, and then I'm going to poke holes in it because the truth it should be out there about what is actually taking place here in Massachusetts. It's not this safe utopia with rainbows and unicorns, and they're going to try to get everybody to believe that. So this is almost identical, other than the two wrinkles I'll tell you about. This is almost identical to Ed Markey's bill that he submitted last year, which was the same title, but it didn't really go anywhere. However, this year's different, and after that Marjorie Stoneman Douglas thing that happened in Florida, this is something we need to keep an eye on. So I'll have a link in the description. There's a little one-page presser that tells you about this. I'll also have the bill in the description. I don't have a number yet because it hasn't been assigned a number. So as soon as one comes out, I'll tell you about it. This is what the rundown is. This is the bill in a gist. So the Making America Safe and Secure Act would incentivize states. That's called bribery. They're going to offer money to states to make this happen, and you know how states love money. But it would incentivize states to adopt gun licensing standards similar to those already proven to be effective in Massachusetts. That's a lie. Massachusetts has a comprehensive gun licensing laws, and not coincidentally, one of the lowest gun death rates in the nation. That is also a lie. Specifically, the MASS Act would authorize the Department of Justice grant funding to incentivize and encourage states to adopt and maintain comprehensive licensing standards for all gun owners and gun dealers. It will also set forth principles to obtain grants, including but not limited to requirements that, and here's the things that, these are the hoops that everybody would have to jump through, the states that is, in order to get this free money. And they are, all gun owners have a license, not only at the time of the firearms purchase, but for the entirety of their ownership. So that's basically saying constitutional carry in every state, if this passes, is gone. They're trying to do away with constitutional carry. Pay attention. Any person who sells ammunition or sells, rents, or leases a certain number of firearms, as established by the state, not the feds, the state can make up their own threshold, in any calendar year will have to obtain a state firearms dealer license, which will be expensive, cash grab. But look what they're doing. They're trying to take away our rights under the federal constitution, the rights that aren't given or granted to us by government. They are recognized, but they're trying to make it so that the states can take that power and restrict it as they see fit. We're only on the second one. Number 3, the state established standards for individuals prohibited from obtaining a firearms license or firearms dealer license. So that means that if you're not prohibited federally, well, each state could twist however they want to do it to make sure you're prohibited in the state level. It gets worse. The chief of police or the board or officer having control of the police in a city or town or designee of that department function as the licensing authority. Licensing standards for firearms owners include a thorough background check, which they already do, it's the next check, and a determination letter of suitability by a licensing authority, which may include an in-person interview and the submission of references stating that the applicant is of sound mind and character. Now, Some people just on the cover of that would say, meh, doesn't sound terrible. But I'm going to tell you that the determination of suitability to be left up to a chief or a sheriff or his or her designee is dangerous. It can be, suitability is based off of the totality of the circumstances. So say that you might not have been convicted of a crime that would make you prohibited federally. However, say you have a bunch of OUIs that you weren't found guilty for. And this is just throwing out examples. Or restraining orders, or assault and batteries that were not found, you weren't found guilty, however they were dismissed, or other weapons crimes in the past that you weren't found guilty of, you weren't convicted, but you were still charged. Well, if you have an accrual of instances like that, they could deny you based on suitability, saying you have a pattern here. Although you're not guilty of anything, you have a pattern, and we're going to deny you because of that. It happens, and it shouldn't. First-time firearms license applicants would have to complete a safety training. That here in this state is another cash grab. It's $100 to get a certificate saying, yeah, I went through a safety course. Licensing standards for firearms dealers include an investigation into the criminal history of the applicant. The licensing authority determines the standards by which firearms dealers operating in the state must comply. Just because you're an FFL doesn't mean you can be an FFL in these states, because you have to be approved by them. And we might not like the way that the feds let you do things. We might have to have you jump through some more hoops and pay more money and more licenses. See where I'm going? The licensing authority would be given the discretion to deny, suspend, or revoke a firearms license or a dealer's license if an applicant is determined to be unsuitable. So you could have your license to carry a firearm or your dealer's license in whatever state for decades, and all of a sudden they don't like you for whatever reason. Just like that, Second Amendment gone. Suitability. The state would establish a judicial review process for individuals aggrieved by the denial, suspension, or revocation of a firearms license or dealer's license. You get denied for whatever reason, you go to court, and then you plead your case, the municipality pleads their case, the judge says, yes, you get a license, no you don't. Here's the first wrinkle I told you about. The state establish a process under which family members of an individual who may be a risk to himself, herself, or others may petition for an extreme risk protection order. ERPO. It's another attempt to force red flag laws on the entire country. That's the first wrinkle. They don't want you to know about that. That's why it's so far down on the list, because people aren't going to usually read all of this crap. And the state established processes under which individuals who are subject to an ERPO, red flag law, or whose license has been revoked, suspended, or denied shall surrender or transfer firearms under their possession. And that's the second wrinkle. They don't say anything about a judicial review process for this red flag. We can take your guns and violate your Second Amendment rights, all on the whim of a third party who you might have offended with your Facebook post. And we're not going to offer you a judicial process, it's also called due process, to clear your name. We're just going to treat you like a criminal, treat you like you're guilty first until you prove yourself innocent. You won't get the right to an attorney, and you're going to pay $20,000 to $25,000, and maybe you'll get your guns back. That's the second wrinkle. The first wrinkle is the sliding this in to the whole country. If this goes through, it's red flag. The second is, if you were denied, they're going to give you, due process if you were denied on suitability or whatever. But if you're red flagged, there's no due process. It's right there in the frickin' bill. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to pay attention to what they're doing. That is what I try to do as fast as possible. This came out yesterday. I was made aware of it yesterday, but you know what? I was on the range shooting a range video and enjoying some freedom, and I didn't want to get pissed off. I saved that for today. So this is what is coming. This is the MASS Act, the Make America Safe and Secure Act. But now I'm going to tell you the truth of how things happen here in Massachusetts. I'm also going to include in the description a link to a report. It's 11 pages by GOAL, the Gun Owners Action League here in Massachusetts. They basically through stats by the FBI Uniform Crime Reports, that's the UCR reports, they prove that Massachusetts is not the second safest state like they claim. And in fact, that since the Massachusetts laws have taken place and gotten stricter as the years have gone on, our violent crime rate, deaths by firearm, has increased. What the state doesn't tell you is that homicide rate by firearm is going up because they're restricting the citizens' ability to protect themselves. See, that's what they don't want you to know. We're going to take away your rights, but all this stuff we're implementing, the criminals don't do it. They're still going to try to shoot you in the face and rob you if they get the chance. But that's our voting base, so that's what we want. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. This is where you're going to find the truth on the Second Amendment, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. And in order to help me get the word out, I count on you, my viewers. Please thumbs up this video. Believe me, it makes a difference. I'm shadow banned. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon. It's supposed to let you know when I put out new stuff, but again, the shadow ban is in full effect the last 2 months, and I'm feeling it, but check the channel routinely, please. Also, share this video with your friends, your family members, or in any groups you're members of, any forums you're a part of. This needs to get out. The Massachusetts gun control picture that they're painting this out to be sucks. It's terrible. If you don't believe me, call somebody you know in Massachusetts. It's terrible. It's unconstitutional. It's uncalled for. It's tyrannical. And our Attorney General changes the way she does things on a whim. And that is not the way it's supposed to be. Due process doesn't exist here for firearms owners. And they're going to make sure that it doesn't happen anywhere in the nation if this MASS Act is to pass. So a link for the bill will be in the description. A link for the refutal paper by Gun Owners Action League will be down there, as well the Ed Markey one-page presser review of what they're looking to force down America's throat. I hope that this information gets to you. Please pass it along. And until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, and carry a weapon. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope you have a great one. Enjoy your family and friends. Take care.